In the midst of so much global change, have you ever wondered if there's one place that is energetically safer than others? Decades ago, an extraordinary source of intelligence, known as RA, gave us a singular clue about exactly that. Today, we delve deep into that message to uncover this one location, and more importantly, what it truly means for us. The source we will be exploring is a body of work known as the Ra material, or more formally, the Law of One. This consists of over 100 question and answer sessions conducted between 1981 and 1984. The dialogue was with a consciousness that identified itself as a six-density social memory complex named Ra. The profundity and internal consistency of this material have made it a cornerstone for spiritual seekers for decades, offering a complex and detailed cosmology of spiritual evolution. Unlike many channeled texts, the Law of One emerged from a meticulously controlled research environment. The team, composed of Don Elkins, a physicist and professor, Carla Ruckert, the instrument, and Jim McCarty, the scribe, approached their work with scientific rigor. Their dedication was not to creating a new religion, but to exploring the deepest questions of existence. This foundation of serious inquiry gives the material a weight and credibility that invites deep contemplation rather than blind faith. And it's from this perspective of careful study that we approach our question today. At the very heart of this vast work is a simple yet profound concept, the Law of One. It states that all things, all consciousness, all of creation, are a single, unified, infinite intelligence. You, me, the stars, and the space between them are all differentiated aspects of this one original thought. Understanding this principle is absolutely essential, as every other piece of information given by RA, including insights about planetary changes and safe locations, is built upon this foundation of ultimate unity. Everything is interconnected because everything is, in essence, the same one thing. My own journey with this material began many years ago, and I can attest to its density and its transformative power. It is not a casual read. It demands your full attention and, more importantly, your discernment. It asks you to weigh its concepts against your own inner knowing. So, as we proceed, I am not presenting this information as dogma, but as a fellow explorer sharing my own research and interpretation. I invite you to join me in this spirit of open-minded investigation to see what resonates with the truth held within your own being. To navigate our topic, we must first familiarize ourselves with some of RA's specific terminology. They speak of densities of consciousness, which are like stages of evolution, not physical locations. We currently exist in the third density. They refer to each of us as a mind-body-spirit complex, emphasizing our multidimensional nature, and they call life's challenges catalyst, experiences designed to spur growth. Understanding this vocabulary is like having a key to unlock the deeper layers of meaning hidden within their messages about the future of our planet. The value of the Law of One is not found in accepting it as an infallible scripture. Instead, its true power is unlocked when its concepts are used as tools for personal growth and understanding. It offers a framework for comprehending the mechanics of consciousness and the purpose of our experiences here on Earth. The question is not, is this true? But rather, does this framework help me to live a more conscious, loving, and wise life? It is with that intention that we now turn our attention to the great planetary transition that RA calls the harvest. RA describes what many call the shift or ascension as a harvest. This is not an apocalyptic event to be feared, but a natural cosmic cycle. Just as a school year ends with graduation, a planetary cycle of consciousness reaches a point of transition. Our planet, Earth, is currently at the end of a 75,000-year third density cycle and is transitioning into the fourth density. This is a change in the fundamental vibrational frequency of the planet and all the consciousness upon it, moving from a state of learning about choice to a state of embodying love. The third density, our current reality, is defined by RA as the density of choice. Its primary purpose is for each mind-body-spirit complex to choose its polarity. The veil of forgetting our true nature is in place, creating a reality where we can freely choose our path without overt cosmic knowledge. The fourth density, into which we are transitioning, is described as the density of love and understanding. In this state, the veil thins, and compassion and unity become the predominant modes of interaction, as beings learn to connect with one another on a much deeper level. In order to graduate or be harvested from the third to the fourth density, an entity must polarize its consciousness. This means making a definitive choice in orientation. One can polarize positively by dedicating more than 50% of one's thoughts and actions to the service of others, or one can polarize negatively by dedicating more than 95% of one's actions to the service of self. Those who have not made a clear choice will repeat the third density cycle on another planet to continue their learning journey. The increasing intensity we are witnessing in the world, the social upheaval, the extreme weather patterns, the emotional volatility can be seen as symptoms of this grand transition. Ra explains that as the fourth entity energies pour into our planet, they act as a potent catalyst. This energy amplifies whatever is already present within individuals and societies. It brings hidden darkness to the surface to be healed and provides immense opportunities for those seeking to accelerate their spiritual growth and open their hearts. It is crucial to understand that according to Ra, nothing is predetermined. The harvest is an opportunity, guided by the law of free will, which they call the first distortion of the law of one. No outside force is judging us. Rather, each soul, at its deepest level, chooses its own path based on the vibrational state it has cultivated through its thoughts, words, and deeds during its third density incarnations. The choice is, and always has been, entirely our own to make. Understanding this process as a natural, evolutionary step for our planet can help to dissolve fear. The narrative of apocalypse and destruction is a third density interpretation of a fourth density event. When we see the current chaos not as an ending, but as the birth pangs of a new, more heart-centered reality, our perspective shifts. We can then begin to see the immense opportunity hidden within the challenges. Viewing this time as a final, powerful chance to choose love and to assist in the birthing of a new Earth. This brings us to a critical question. What does safety truly mean in the context of such a cosmic event? When Ra speaks of a physically safer location, are they referring to a shelter from geological upheaval, or is there a more nuanced metaphysical meaning at play? It's easy to fall into the trap of third density survival thinking, but the perspective offered by Ra invites us to look much deeper than the surface level of physical preservation. The core of this deeper understanding lies in the principle of vibrational resonance. Ra suggests that our own energetic frequency is our greatest shield and our true home. Events of a chaotic or destructive nature carry a very low, dense vibration. A person, or a geographical area, that is resonating at a much higher frequency of love, peace, and harmony, is energetically incompatible with such events. It's less like building a bunker, and more like becoming a frequency that's destructive. Energies simply cannot perceive or interact with. From the perspective of the soul, or what Ra would call the mind-body-spirit complex in its totality, the survival of any single physical body is of secondary importance. The primary goal is the evolution of consciousness and the gathering of experience. True safety, from this higher vantage point, is the preservation and progress of the soul's journey. It is the assurance that the lessons have been learned and that the entity is ready to continue its evolution into higher states of being, regardless of the fate of its temporary physical vehicle. Ra also speaks of a form of planetary quarantine that has been in effect around Earth for many thousands of years. This quarantine, enforced by a benevolent group called the Confederation of Planets, is designed to protect humanity's free will from being overly influenced by outside forces. This suggests that the entire planetary experience, including its safety and its challenges, is already being managed on a cosmic level to ensure that the evolutionary process unfolds according to the choices made by humanity itself. The principle of energetic incompatibility can be understood with a simple analogy. Think of a radio receiver tuned to a specific station. It is only capable of picking up the broadcast on that particular frequency. All other frequencies pass through it without being registered. Similarly, an individual or a location vibrating strongly in the frequency of fourth density love would be, in a sense, out of phase with third density chaos. The chaos may still occur, but it would not be part of that being's experienced reality. So, before we even look at a map, we must redefine our terms. The safety Ra speaks of is a multidimensional concept. It is partly geographical, related to the Earth's own energy systems, but it is fundamentally rooted in the frequency of consciousness. The safest place to be, ultimately, is in a state of unconditional love and trust in the Creator. It is from this understanding that we can now begin to examine the specific clues Ra provided about our physical planet. When the questioners asked Ra about Earth changes in areas that would be less affected, Ra's answers were characteristically precise and esoteric. They did not simply name a country. Instead, they pointed to specific energy patterns and geographical features. They spoke of the influx of new creative energies that would be particularly potent and stable in certain areas of the planet, areas that would serve as beacons for the dawning fourth density consciousness. A recurring theme in their responses is the significance of the Andes mountain range in South America. Ra indicated that this massive chain of mountains acts as a primary receiver and conductor for the cosmic energies now bathing the planet. They described it as a place where the new vibrations could be grounded and stabilized most effectively, creating a sort of energetic bedrock for the new age. This points us firmly toward a specific continent as the focal point of our search. Ra also connected these potent geographical areas with the activities of ancient civilizations. They suggested that groups like those who built the structures in your South American regions had a deep, intuitive understanding of these terrestrial energies. They knew where the planet's power spots or vortices were located and built their temples and cities in alignment with them, not just for ceremonial purposes, but to work in harmony with the living consciousness of the Earth itself. This idea hints at a fundamental realignment of the planet's energetic axis. For much of the last cycle, major spiritual and intellectual centers were located in other parts of the world, like Tibet, Egypt, or India. Ra's information suggests that the planetary Kundalini energy is now shifting. and the primary center of spiritual influx is moving. South America, specifically the spine of the Andes, is mentioned as the recipient of this newly activated planetary energy flow. To understand this better, we can think of the Earth as having its own circulatory system of energy, often referred to as ley lines or dragon lines, with major intersection points called vortices. According to the information, this entire grid is being recalibrated and re-energized. As the old system powers down, new points on the grid are being activated with immense intensity, and the clues strongly suggest that one of the most significant of these new power centers lies in the high mountains of South America. So, let's gather the clues we have so far. We are looking for a place within the Andes mountain range, a region with a rich history of ancient civilizations that understood Earth energies, and a location identified as a primary focal point for the incoming fourth density vibrations. When we put all of these pieces of the puzzle together, a specific region comes into sharp focus. A conclusion drawn not from speculation, but from a careful interpretation of the text itself. Based on this textual evidence, the location most consistently interpreted as the safe zone described by RA is the high plateau region of the Andes, specifically encompassing areas of Peru and Bolivia. This region, home to Lake Titicaca and ancient Incan sites, fits all the criteria provided. It is the geological and energetic backbone of the continent and has been a center of profound spiritual wisdom for millennia, making it the most logical answer to our initial question. Geographically, this area is unique. The Altiplano is one of the highest inhabited plateaus on Earth. Ra's descriptions of energies grounding deeply into the planet find a perfect physical correspondence here. In the immense ancient rock of the Andes, the sheer mass and mineralogical composition of these mountains make them a natural antenna and stabilizer for the subtle cosmic energies that are intensifying during this transitional period. This conclusion is powerfully supported by the archaeological and historical record. Sites like Machu Picchu, Puma Punku, and Tiahuanaco are testaments to cultures with an incredibly advanced understanding of energy, astronomy, and consciousness. These were not just cities. They were carefully constructed energetic machines designed to harmonize human consciousness with that of the Earth and the cosmos. They are the physical echoes of the ancient wisdom that Ra referred to. Furthermore, this interpretation aligns beautifully with other esoteric and indigenous traditions. The well-known prophecy of the eagle and the condor, for instance, speaks of a time when the heart-centered, intuitive wisdom of the south, the condor, will unite with the intellectual, technological mind of the north, the eagle. This prophecy also points to the Andes region as the birthplace of a new, balanced consciousness for the entire planet. Even today, this region continues to call to spiritual seekers from all over the world. Many who travel to the sacred valley of Peru or the shores of Lake Titicaca report profound energetic experiences, moments of clarity, and a palpable sense of peace and connection. This modern-day pilgrimage phenomenon serves as a living validation of the idea that something truly special is happening in the energy of this land, an awakening that Ra spoke of decades ago. So there we have it, the one country, or more accurately, the one region that the Ra material indicated would be safest during the shift. But having this information can be a double-edged sword. It can lead to a deeper metaphysical understanding, or it can trigger a purely physical survival response. The most important part of our exploration is not the what or the where, but the profound why. Why this particular place? One compelling metaphysical theory is that this region is in the process of becoming the new heart chakra of the planet. Just as our bodies have energy centers, so too does the living body of the Earth. As the planetary consciousness evolves from a focus on power and survival lower chakras to one of love and compassion, the energetic center of gravity shifts. This area is thought to be the physical location where the fourth density, frequency of unconditional love is being anchored most strongly. The unique geology of the Andes plays a significant role in this. The mountains are rich in crystalline structures, particularly quartz. Crystals are well-known amplifiers and transmitters of energy and information. The immense deposits of quartz and other minerals within the Andean range may act as a massive planetary crystal, receiving the cosmic energies of the fourth density, stabilizing them, and then broadcasting this coherent frequency of love across the globe. There is also the potential influence of the high altitude itself. Living at altitudes of over 10,000 feet has a noticeable effect on the human body and, arguably, on consciousness. The thinner atmosphere and increased proximity to cosmic radiation might create an environment that is naturally conducive to altered states of awareness. This could make it easier for individuals in this region to quiet the egoic mind and attune to the subtler frequencies of their higher selves. Therefore, this region's purpose is not merely to be a passive safe haven. It is an active point of energetic transmission. Its function is to act as a primary grounding rod for the new planetary energy grid. It is an anchor point, helping to stabilize the entire planet's transition into the fourth density. The safety it provides is a byproduct of its primary function, which is to hold and radiate the frequency of unconditional love for the benefit of all humanity. This creates a beautiful symbiotic relationship. The land, with its unique geological and energetic properties, supports the evolution of human consciousness. In turn, the focused intention of conscious individuals and groups who visit or live in this area, through meditation, ceremony, and prayer, helps to activate and amplify the energy of the land. It is a co-creative partnership between humanity and the living earth, working together to birth a new reality. This is the point in our journey where we must take a sharp turn, because the greatest danger lies in interpreting this profound spiritual information in a purely literal third-density way. The idea that safety can be found by simply booking a flight to Peru and buying a piece of land is a fundamental misunderstanding of the message. This would be like believing you can achieve enlightenment by moving into a library. The geographical location, the Andes, is not the destination. It is a symbol. It is a physical representation of an internal state of being that we are all invited to cultivate within ourselves. It represents the high, unshakable mountain of our own inner peace. It symbolizes the crystalline clarity of a heart open to unconditional love. The safety RA speaks of is not a place you go to. It is a state of consciousness that you become. The ultimate truth of the matter is that the safest place to be during the shift is within a balanced and open heart chakra. True security is an inside job. It is the inner peace that comes from resolving your fears, forgiving yourself and others, and aligning your will with the will of the Creator. This internal state creates a high-frequency field around you that is impervious to the chaos of the external world. You become the vortex. You are the safe space. There is an old saying, wherever you go, there you are. You could be sitting in the most sacred temple in the Andes, but if your mind is filled with fear, judgment, and anxiety, you will not experience safety. Conversely, you could be in the heart of a chaotic city, but if your heart is filled with unwavering love and trust, you are in the safest place in the universe. Your location is secondary to your vibration. In fact, RA consistently emphasizes that the most important work is always done in the present moment, exactly where you are. The daily challenges and interactions of your life are the catalysts specifically designed for your soul-less growth. To run away from this in search of an external haven is to abandon the very curriculum your higher self has designed for you. The work is not out there. It is right here, right now, in your own heart and mind. So, let us see this special place in the Andes for what it truly is, a tool, not a solution. For those who have already committed to the internal work, a journey to such a location can act as a powerful amplifier, accelerating their progress. But it cannot do the work for you. The true safe harbor is not made of rock and soil, but is built, thought by thought, choice by choice, within the sacred temple of your own being. So how do we build this internal sanctuary, this portable safe space, wherever we are? The Law of One provides a clear blueprint. The most powerful practice for raising your vibration is the active choice of service to others. This does not have to be a grand gesture, a kind word, a listening ear, an act of compassion. These small choices, made consistently, attune your energy field to the frequency of fourth entity love more quickly than anything else. We must also learn to work consciously with our life's catalyst. When challenges arise, instead of reacting with anger, fear, or blame, we can learn to pause and ask, what is the lesson here? What is this situation trying to teach me about myself? By embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, we transform the very fuel of third density suffering into the wisdom and balance that creates our inner fortress of peace. A daily practice of meditation or silent contemplation is indispensable. This is the time we set aside to disconnect from the noise of the external world and reconnect with the infinite stillness within. It is in this silence that we can balance our own energy centers, receive guidance from our higher self, and remember our true nature as a part of the one infinite Creator. This practice reinforces our connection to the source of all safety and all peace. We must also honor the physical vessel that carries our consciousness. Ra refers to the body as a biocomputer, and its efficiency affects our spiritual work. A conscious diet, regular movement, and adequate rest are not mundane concerns but are foundational spiritual practices. By caring for our bodies, we create a more balanced and coherent energetic field, making it a more stable and resilient container for our evolving consciousness. You can also consciously create a sacred space in your own home. This can be as simple as a small corner with a candle, a crystal, or a plant. By regularly clearing the energy of your living space and infusing it with your intention for peace, love, and light, you create a physical anchor for high vibration energy. This turns your home into a personal sanctuary, a micro-vortex that supports and recharges your spiritual work. Finally, seek out and cultivate community with other like-minded souls. When individuals dedicated to positive polarization gather, their combined energy fields create a powerful group vortex of light and love. This collective field offers immense support, protection, and amplification for every person within it. In a world of increasing division, creating conscious communities is one of the most powerful ways to build a network of safety and accelerate our collective journey home. We began our journey today looking for a single point on a map, a geographical shelter from the coming storms of change. But we discovered that the map Ra provided ultimately leads inward to the vast uncharted territory of our own consciousness. The one country that is truly safest during the shift is the sovereign state of an open heart. Safety is not a destination. It is the vibrational frequency we choose to embody. Now, I would love to hear from you. What does safety mean to you on your spiritual path, and how do you cultivate your own sacred space within? Please share your wisdom and experiences in the comments below. If this deep dive resonated with you, consider subscribing and activating notifications so you don't miss our next exploration into the profound wisdom of the Law of One.